What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and compare it to its consolidation in the middle of 2020, and also take a look at the daily and weekly charts to see if we can find any clues on what is happening for Bitcoin coming up here over the next couple days. If that sounds good, you guys, make sure you hit that like button, and let's not waste any time and jump right on into the video. So on the 4-hour time frame, we have broken out of our wedgie that we've been talking about, right? And this is not a little wedgie, right? This is more of a macro wedgie. If we zoom out, we have a falling wedge, right, on the 4-hour time frame that has just broken to the upside. Okay, it's just broken to the upside, and this is one that's been going on since about August 20th, right? So this one's been going on for about a month. We have now smashed that to the upside. Now, the target of this falling wedge is all the way up here at our top touch at about 53,000 US dollars. Okay, that's our target of this falling wedge, and I do believe that's going to be hit here over the next couple, really the next couple weeks, right? The next couple weeks. Doesn't have to happen today, doesn't have to happen tomorrow, but I think over the macro time frame, this is going to be a level that's going to be hit here over the next couple weeks. Could happen within the next couple of days potentially. Okay, so that's really nice. It was just a really beautiful setup in this wedge, right? We were sort of just consolidating down here. We broke up, had our previous resistance levels, confirmed them as support, and then smash those to the upside. Now, what we could do is come back down and test this as support and continue up, but nevertheless, I do think a relative breakout is coming here for Bitcoin up to that $53,000 level over the course of the next couple days. Okay. Now, the bearish scenario, we all see come back into the wedge. If we come back into the wedge, I think it's possible that Bitcoin could come back down and make one more low, downwards about 42,500-ish. But that's just a scenario that we're looking at if Bitcoin does break back below this previous high, which at this point, I don't see it happening, but can we really count out Bitcoin doing really anything it wants to do? No, Bitcoin does whatever it wants to do, guys, okay? So let's look at the daily chart real quick. So the daily looks really good. We were looking at the daily time frame and saying, guys, we were consolidating down here after a pretty significant dip, right? Our stock RSI was bottomed out. Historically, when our stock RSI is bottomed out in the daily, historically, it's been a pretty good relative bottom area. Now, it doesn't have to mean that we're just going to go up and crush new all-time highs, but it made sense for a bounce. Also, the sentiment was extremely low, right? The sentiment was extremely low. But you can see every time here, if you look up when I circle these at the price action relative to it, it tends to be a relative bottom. And that's exactly what we have gotten here, a relative bottom. Now, the important thing is, can Bitcoin go up now and make a new high? I think it's pretty important here that we watch Bitcoin over the next couple of days to the next couple of weeks and seeing if Bitcoin can come up here and make a new high, right? A higher high than $53,000. What we don't want to do, in my opinion, is come back up, make a lower high, right? Because then if we make a lower high, what would be forming? Well, we would have lower lows, right? And we would have lower highs on the daily. So that's something that we don't want to do. I would love for Bitcoin to come up here and make a higher high and not necessarily make a lower high, so we don't have to really worry about that. Now, we have gotten the golden cross, right? Historically, the golden cross has been a pretty good indicator. There have been times where we've had fake outs with the golden cross where it didn't really play out. But if we look back in the past, has been a decent indicator for gains in the future. But I'm not holding it to the grave or anything. I think it could easily be a fake out like it's been in the past. But we are sitting above that 50-day moving average and that 200-day moving average as we speak. Historically, that's been a pretty good indicator. And what I do like is what we didn't do, like we did in 2018, is when we came up and confirmed this as resistance, the next day, we smashed right back above it. If we go back and look at 2018, you guys don't know, I don't like to compare to 2018, but just for the sake of this video, you can see here, we had our 200-day moving average back here in 2018, right here, right? And what do we do on our bounces, right? Well, we dropped below the 200-day moving average, and we came back up, and we could not reclaim that 200-day moving average, which pushed us to lower prices, right? So that's why I think it's very important that we continue to hold this 200-day moving average, not confirm it as resistance. And I think it's very strong that Bitcoin actually reclaimed the 200-day moving average here. Okay, very important. And now we got to wait to see what Bitcoin does in the next couple of days if it can reclaim that $53,000 level. Now, jumping on into the weekly time frame, I'm still loving the bounce here off the 20-week EMA and the 20-week SMA. That's really, in the grand scheme of things, what we want to continue to do. Historically, when we do bounce off that, is an extremely bullish indicator. Now, from a structure standpoint, I do still like what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. You can see we had our previous support at this level back here. And now we're sort of confirming that as support again. You can see what happened the last time we confirmed this as support around this level. We had approximately about, from our high to lows, approximately about a 50% move to the upside, which obviously got us up into that $64,000 range. Are we going to do the exact same thing that happened last time? I don't know, right? None of us have a crystal ball handy here, but I do think in the grand scheme of things that this is a very important support level for us to hold, and we did it, right? And we did it. It really wasn't an issue getting back over it in general, as we kind of just smashed through on the weekly our 20 SMA and 20-week EMA, and we came back down and supported them relatively easily without any resistance. So that's a strong sign for Bitcoin, in my opinion, over this course of the next couple of weeks. And I think it's important that we do hold that $43,500 level on a close basis. We can wick below it. Still always possible we can wick below it, but I want to hold that on a close basis, okay? Now, the last thing I want to look at here for Bitcoin real quick is the fractal, right? Comparing it to the middle of 2020, right? The middle of 2020. Why is this so important? Well, this is the fractal, right? Comparing this current price action, right, to our current price action, right? The general structure of it is very similar. And fractals, sort of, it's not important, in my opinion, to look at the general price movements, like micro movements. It's more about the price structure and support and resistance areas on the fractals. If you look here for Bitcoin, these are very, very similar. Very, very similar as far as price structure. If you look at our current price action up here, what did we do? Well, we sort of had the distribution pattern up here, just like we did here. Distribution pattern. We dumped below, made a high, right? We dumped below, made a high. So that's actually what we did in our current price action. We dumped below, made a high, and then what did we do? Well, we sort of consolidated. This one kind of was an upward consolidation. This was a downward consolidation, but you guys get the general picture. Both of them broke to the upside, okay? And then we came back down, right? We broke back above, but we came back down and consolidated pretty much right above that previous high, okay? And what are we doing in our current, or what did we do back in 2020, I should say? Well, we broke back above and consolidated right above that previous price action. Now, if we look at what happened in 2020, we sort of got some pretty big green candles that came shortly after. Do I think that we're going to necessarily do something like this where we pump, some crazy amounts? We pump, I don't know, up to the equivalent of like 75,000 over the course of the next couple of days? Probably not. But we've seen crazier things for Bitcoin in the past, but I'm not holding my breath for a $75,000 Bitcoin over the course of the next couple of days. There's people out there that think that we're going to hit 100K by the middle to end of September. I don't see that happening. I think that's a little bit far-fetched. Even though we've seen Bitcoin do incredible things in the past, we got to stay somewhat realistic here for Bitcoin, and I don't really see that necessarily happening over the next couple of weeks. But I do think, you guys know I'm a bull, I do think that we will hit higher prices. It's just a matter of when. I just think it's going to happen a little bit later, either at the end of this year, even into 2022. I do think that we're going to hit our all-time highs, six-figure Bitcoin, within the next, I would probably say within the next 6 months. I'd probably say within Q1 of 2022, in my personal opinion, right? So we'll continue to watch this fractal. The general structure of it is very, very similar. Like I said, I don't expect similar gains, but you guys get the deal. All right, so that's today's video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's any altcoins you guys want me to touch on the channel. Let me know in the comment section down below. Love to see your comments down there. And other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Discord, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.